ESPN's presentation of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be. And by AT&T, the right choice.
The Buffalo Sabres do not want to get on a plane and go back to the Boston Garden, but unless they can beat this man, Andy Moog, at least twice and force overtime or win it in regulation, that's where they'll be, the Boston Garden on Monday night. A 2-goal lead for the Bruins, 5-3. Dominic Hasek, who came in relief of Grant Fuhr, who left with a shoulder injury after the first period, made 13 saves. In that second period, and Jim, I thought he played very well.
Yeah, outside of the wraparound goal by Pullen, where I thought he was a little lackadaisical getting from post to post, he had a strong period. And if he can keep the score at 5, the Sabres have an explosive team. It isn't beyond the realm of possibility that they could score 3 goals in a period. So the Bruins are a long way from out of the woods.
Tom Mees and Jim Schonfeld, National Hockey Night from the Aud in Buffalo. The Bruins trying to do the John Travolta thing. Stay alive tonight in Buffalo. Himalev intercepts a pass at center. Yuri Himalev faked the shot. Tries to get around Shaw, can't do it. And Wesley sends Himalev to the ice. And into Himalev behind the net. Himalev out to Schmelik. The shot is knocked down in front by the Bruin defense. Boston does a great job at blocking shots, not allowing them to get into the goaltender Andy Moog, who's faced only officially 19 shots on goal tonight.
David Shaw was the Bruin that made that block. The man that just dumped the puck in, and he's going to go for a change. You get 5 fresh Bruin skaters on the ice.
Here's Randy Wood at center ice. Can he control it in time? No. And McCourt says offside. He proceeded to puck into the zone.
Tom, Randy Wood is skating extremely well tonight for the Sabres. He's had a couple of good chances just because he has great speed.
Now it's time for our Miller Genuine Draft scoring summary. Cam Neely power play at 2:19. Got Boston on the board early. Alexander Mogilny answered back at 10:09 of the first to tie it at 1. Joey Juneau, his second goal on a power play, second goal of the playoffs, made it 2-1. Then Peter Doris made it 3-1 on his first goal of the playoffs. Dale Hawerchuk on a disputed goal, but it was ruled good with a video goal judge, made it 3-2. But then it was Steve Leach, 4-2 in the last 12 seconds of the first period. In the second period, Dave Poulin made it 5-2 shorthanded, but Donald Audette at 3:58 of the second period got Buffalo within hailing distance at 5-3, and that's where we stand now.
Well, referee Dennis Morrell shooing the Bruins off the ice. Brian Sutter trying to make a late change. Of course, the home team gets to make the last change. Muckler trying to keep LaFontaine away from the Poulin line, and Ray Bourque and Don Sweeney on defense. And, of course, Sutter tried to counter that.
And here goes Morrell.
Yeah, now the Bruins are saying, well, who was on there, Dennis? Can you remember? Because we're not sure. And they're just trying to make him look bad here. So Smolinski, it looks like, is a guy going over the boards. And you know if the Bruins win this draw, they'll get it deep, and they'll be making a 5-man change because definitely Sutter wants out Bourque, Sweeney, and the Poulin line against the Sabre Gunners, LaFontaine, Mogilny, and big bruising Brad May.
Ted Donato, as it is, will take the face-off with Pat LaFontaine. LaFontaine controls, but backhands it back to Steve Hines. Hines shoots it in where Hasek leaves it for his big defenseman, Richard Schmelik. Now it's Pete Party carrying into the Boston zone and dumping in the corner. And Sweeney, pretty hard check there from LaFontaine. LaFontaine trying to hit Mogilny, just misconnection. May dumps it back in for Buffalo. Bourque in the corner, and May lays into him. Hines with it dangerously in front of his own net, but now it's Peter Doris up the right wing. Doris with 1 goal tonight is well wide on that slap shot, and Mogilny has it at center for Buffalo. Alexander Mogilny, it's onside. Mogilny in front. Passing to the net was LaFontaine, just missing. Mogilny. His back pass hit the skate of the referee Morrell. Ken Sutton keeps it in for Buffalo. Ray Bourque is back there for Boston. And the Bruins clear.
Well, the first half of this period, I think you'll see a lot of McGillney and LaFontaine. If the Bruins happen to get a 6th goal, or it looks to John Muckler that the Sabres don't have a chance of winning this game, they'll probably rest them. But I would think a lot of activity for the first 10 minutes.
Let's go to the studio, Jack Edwards.
All right, Tom Mees, Steve Finn, the drive from the point for Quebec. Mike Huff runs around the pile of players in front. His shot staved, but there's Joe Sakic on the reeve. Second period ended just a minute ago. 2-2.
Boy, what a surprise that score's tied.
Bill Clement made the observation. I think it's a good one. You have a 2-1 lead. You're at home, but you're playing Quebec. It's almost better to sit on a lead and protect it rather than get in a shooting match with the Quebec Nordiques.
Absolutely right.
Quebec can put the puck in the net. Buffalo's got to do it twice more than Boston does here in this third period just to force overtime. The task is a formidable one for the Sabres, who are trying to close out the series tonight. Rough and tumble action in the corner, and a whistle for icing. Nice hustle there by young Bill Holder of the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, Smolinski, I think, had a half a step on him if he would have just kept skating, but I don't know that Smolinski was sure it was going to be icing. So as they went, he tried to get body position so he wouldn't get crunched. And Holder's just going to plain out beat him to the puck right there, and he's going to get hit anyway. That's a lot of speed, folks. He hit the boards. That's jarring. Great athletes on the ice. Great athletes in this game.
Had a pretty good one in the booth here.
Where?
You are a folk hero in Buffalo.
Oh.
All the autographs you signed here today in this rink?
That's all family members.
Face off. Howard Chuck takes it for the Sabres, controls it. In the slot. Nice job there by the Boston Bruins. Stefan Richer. The shot is taken by Audette and the save by Andy Moog. Stefan Richer did a nice job tying up a Buffalo shooter in the slot.
Yeah, I believe it was Howard Chuck. He made a very quick recovery, tied him up, couldn't get the shot away, and then the point shot comes. Andy Moog gets a right pad down to make a great save on a deflection. You'll see the puck coming right here into the slot. Right there. I'm sorry, that's the shot and the deflection. There's Moog down. Good positioning in goal for Andy Moog. Donald Audette using his head. He didn't hurry the shot. He waited until the screen was set up. He let it go low so it could be tipped in. And I can't keep talking. These fans are drowning me out here.
The Sabres faithful rising to their feet. By far the most noise we've heard in this building tonight. And that included when the Sabres came out for a warm-up, Jim. I thought it would be like this all night. I think the crowd maybe can't believe what their team is about to accomplish.
Well, the Bruins took the crowd out of the game, but now the crowd sees some Sabre flurries. They know how close they are to tasting victory in this series, and they're trying to send all their energy down to the Buffalo bench and onto the ice with their Sabres.
Bruins control the face-off. Wesley gets it ahead to Leach, who gets it to center ice. And just like that, the noise is dispersed. 17:10 left to go in regulation time. And the crowd starting to get on Andy Moog with rhythmic chants of Andy. Wesley is bodied into the boards by Hannon. And Wesley pays it back with a glove to the face. It's been physical all night. It's getting more rugged by the moment here in the third period. Himmelad in front. Moog the save, and the net comes off.
Is going to the penalty box for taking the net off.
And Leach better watch it or he'll get an added penalty from Denny Morrell. The Sabres on the power play in a moment.
Something this good shouldn't be kept all bottled up. For great taste that's less filling, Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be. Come on!
AT&T 800 service would like a word with you. The word word is freedom. Soon, businesses forced to choose a less reliable 800 service because they wanted a certain 800 number and maybe losing sales as a result will have the freedom to keep their 800 number and switch to AT&T, the best in the business. One more thing. Switch to AT&T now and get 100 days of free calls.
Well, the Bruins, Stephen Leach sitting in the penalty box for a delay of game penalty. You'll see as he comes in here and pushes the net off its moorings. Very much like the play Sabres' Doug Bodger made and got away with. So understandably, the Bruin bench is very upset at referee Dennis Morel.
Be that as it may, Buffalo goes in the power play, the top unit out there. Mogilny. LaFontaine, Sweeney behind the net, but Boston takes it away, and now Poulin has it. Remember, the Bruins have scored a shorthanded goal tonight. Poulin had that. At the time, it made it 5-2 Boston. But back into the Bruins zone, LaFontaine. Mogilny whips it around for Hawerchuk. Doug Bodger. The shot is blocked off by Bohr.
What a great pass Hawerchuk made. Backhand pass right across the blue line to Bodger. He is so adept with his hockey stick. He can make things happen at any time. That's what makes Hawerchuk so dangerous.
Now, Dan McCourt whistled the Sabres for a two-line pass, and Dale Hawerchuk is beside himself. You don't think the linesmen take heat during the playoff game? Forget it.
And I'll tell you what, they do an awful lot of skating, and I think a tremendous job. It's very difficult. It's easy for us sitting up here to second guess a Dennis Morel or a call a linesman make. But when you have to make it in that split second, it's a difficult job, and those guys deserve an awful lot of credit and respect for the job they do. And remember, they never have a home game. They're on the road all season long.
Minute 21 left to go in the Buffalo Sabre power play, but because of the two-line pass, Hawerchuk and the Sabres will take the draw in their own zone. Donato against LaFontaine here. LaFontaine wins it back to Hawerchuk. Bodger off the boards. Audette had it for a second. LaFontaine and Mogilny. Audette tries to get to it. LaFontaine beats him to it. Pays the price as Shaw buries him. And a whistle for a high stick. Dennis Morel has blown the whistle on somebody.
Just high stick.
Hitting the puck with a high stick.
Puck was above the shoulders, and the Bruins touched it. And of course, Furry defends his own face-off, killing a penalty. Out comes the Bruins, number 19, Dave Poulin. Boy, he logs a lot of ice time.
So does number 16.
He just took the words out of my mouth. Important face-off here for the Bruins. This is Andy Moog's opportunity. He's come up with a couple of big saves. His team has a 2-goal lead. They're killing a penalty. His chance to shine and win a game for the Boston Bruins.
LaFontaine wins another faceoff. Bodger. The save made by Moog as he saw the shot all the way. Save with the right blocker. And the puck caroms all the way down to the Buffalo zone. 50 seconds left in the Buffalo power play. Puck still loose at center as the Sabres try and regroup. Pass intercepted by Poulin. Nice job by Dave Poulin.
Two good reads in a row. Bourque made a good read of the blue line, intercepting a pass, and then Poulin in the neutral zone, taking about 15 seconds off the Sabre power play.
Ray Bourque and Don Sweeney disrupting the power play of the blue line. LaFontaine is on the ice. Meanwhile, Audette goes into the net. He's taken down. The net is knocked off the moorings. Whistle for a faceoff, and LaFontaine is in pain as he skates back to the Buffalo bench.
LaFontaine was leveled at the blue line, and he's sitting down, and he seems to be in severe pain. And you'll see him lying in the ice. That's after the hit. And this is Audette driving to the net. A good play by Don Sweeney, getting the puck before he got the legs of Audette. And that's why a penalty wasn't called. And there's LaFontaine right there getting hit from behind by Sweeney. And that's a whiplash effect. Shot in the back can get your ribs, certainly snaps your neck as Audette scores, but the puck stays out.
LaFontaine made it over under his own power, but he is one hurting dude on the bench. He hasn't had the best of nights from a plus-minus standpoint, but forget that. They want him out on the ice. If you need to score goals, he and Mogilny are the two guys you want out there, and you're down by 2 in the third period.
Well, he started this game banged up, too. His knees were sore, and he hasn't hidden that fact. To what degree they're sore, I think he's hidden that. He's a very gutsy competitor, has great courage, will go any traffic area he has to go to get the job done. And whether he's in pain or not, folks, expect Pat LaFontaine to be back on the ice very soon.
He does for his size, Jim. Over the years, I've commented several times on the air. He takes a licking, really. He takes so many hard hits, you wonder how he can continue to get up.
Well, there are big men in the game, and there are small men in the game, and there are small men that play like big men. He plays like an absolute giant.
Bad bounce off the boards. Crossed Andy Moga. Fortunately for he, no Sabres in the area. Still 10 seconds left on the Buffalo power play, but Boston clears, and this will use it up. So the Bruins dodge a short-handed bullet. They remain 2 goals in front with 14:40 left, third period. Teams are full strength. Adam Oates with it. Oates with 3 assists tonight, 9 in the series. Boyd Roberts just dumps it in.
You see the Bruins not hot in pursuit, waiting. Neely goes in on the angle. They aren't going crashing in. They don't want to get 2 or 3 guys caught. They're going to make the Sabres beat them all the way down the ice.
Oates intercepts the pass, leaves it with a shot taken by Steve Leach, and Hasek with the save. A reminder, Top Rank Boxing comes your way tonight. Boston Bruin bench. Very confident this morning when we visited with him about his team, at least how his team would play. Couldn't guarantee a win, but he knew they were going to play well tonight, Jim.
Well, you know, you got the sense talking to him that he really likes his team. Sometime when coaches get down in a series or during the season, if their team isn't playing well, they really don't like them. They think they've been abandoned. But Sutter has a real affection for his team, and I think it came out in our conversation this morning.
This is Hannon of Buffalo at center ice. Colin Patterson couldn't control the pass and comes back out for an offside call. 13:39.
John Muckler realizes there's still lots of time left, and he's still using his checking line against the Oates line. Doesn't want to give the Bruins that 6th goal. And it is early. The Sabres, as we mentioned, are quite capable of scoring goals in bundles. And that'll come with some offensive punch. Howard, Chuck, Wood, and Audette.
Well, if you're a Bruin fan across the country and you're wondering, can they do it? Can they do it? Has it ever been done? Coming back from 3-0 down in the series? Well, ask the Detroit Red Wing fans in 42. And ask the Pittsburgh Penguin fans in 75. The Maple Leafs and Islanders both turned that trick against those teams. So, yes, it is possible. Very difficult, but possible. Howard Chuck with it on right wing. Tries to get around Gord Roberts, and Roberts continues his steady play defensively. Just buried Howard Chuck, and the Bruins control and clear. Bodies banging against the boards, as you see, and here. Hasek banging his stick on the ice, indicating touch it up, boys. Icing will be the call, and as Carney does, the whistle blows. 12:52 left to go in the third.
Dean's still on the bench in the natural rotation for the Sabres. His shift would be the next one, so we'll wait and see if he comes back on the ice after this big hit right here by Sweeney. Cross-check in the back, and down Patty goes.
Ouch. Play back on here in the Boston zone. Bruins try and clear, can't do it. Whipping around and sending a shot in was Randy Wood. He hit his old man Donald Audette in the back. And the puck comes loose to center. Here the urgings of skate, skate, skate from the Boston Bruin bench. Adam Oates, 1-on-3, however, trying to leave it for Cam Neely, who wasn't expecting it. Bruins have to clear the zone.
It was such a good fake. It faked Neely out. He just wasn't expecting that pass.
That's a heck of a fake. You fake Cam Neely out. Steve Leach goes for it for Boston. No scoring here in the third period. Remains a 2-goal Bruin lead. A game they must win or their season will be over. Right now they're looking good. Right now.
the Sabres.
Adam Oates is down on the ice. That could have something to do with it.
I believe it was a hit on Raymond Bourque. Looks like he's getting a hooking call. I'm sorry, it's Sweeney going to the box.
Number 20, Bob Sweeney, the hero of Game 1 for Buffalo, the former Boston Bruin.
And you'll see it coming up here. There's the hook right there on Raymond Bourque. And I thought it was Himmelev because he gave Bourque a little extra smack in the way down, too. Sweeney not happy with the call, but it's the proper call. And with 11 minutes and 52 seconds left, is looking better and better for the Bruins.
Remember, in Game 3, it was a hooking penalty to Ray Bourque that set up the Buffalo Sabres on a power play that won the game for them.
And that was an overtime goal. Not a good play by Raymond. He doesn't make very many bad plays, but that was one.
Bourque having a little bit of trouble clearing the zone. Can't do so. Bodger with a blast. Hits high out the glass and back to center ice where Smelik has it. Smelik dumps it in. Remember now, Boston is on the power play. 1:35 left to go in the advantage, and Bourque lugs it to center ice himself. Offside, though, is Cam Neely, and the faceoff will come out to center. So the Bruins have used up just about 30 seconds of their power play opportunity, and have yet to get it in officially to the Buffalo zone. Remember, Grant Fuhr started in net for the Buffalo Sabres, as he has throughout the series. Played one period. Dominic Hasek came out, and Hasek has been in goal since. Fuhr, an injured right shoulder. We do not know the extent of the injury, but Dominic Hasek is in net tonight, and we'll have to see if there's a Game 5, if he'll be in net Monday night at Boston.
That could turn the table a little bit, couldn't it, if the Bruins happen to win this game?
Wow. Big development. Tom Draper, after Fuhr was diagnosed with the injury and taken out of commission, Draper, who was scratched before the game, put the uniform on, and he is now the Sabres' backup goalie. Bruins on the power play into the zone. Neely's pass, not connected with anyone. Adam Oates with it. Looking, always looking. Adam Oates. Ray Bourque tries to one-time it and doesn't get good with it all. The Sabres clear easily. And only for a few seconds. Nice job there by Bodger.
Yeah, Sabres doing a good job keeping the Bruin power play off balance. They have done a tremendous job in the series up until tonight's game, where the Bees already have 2 power play goals. This looks more like the Sabre form of killing penalty from the first 3 games.
Oates trying to get around his man Ledger. Can't do it. Bob Corkum back there for it in the corner. Oh, Oates lost his balance. The glass held him up. Oates pass. The shot by Leach is a save by Hasek. Shaw with it now at the point. He lets it rip off the skates of Hannon, who almost had to break the other way. 8 seconds left. The shot is blocked by Shaw's shot is blocked by Hannon, I should say. And the Sabres have killed it off, so the teams are back at full strength.
Great penalty killing. Dave Hannon does it once again. 2 big blocks, and the Sabres are able to clear the zone.
Now, from the Buffalo perspective, you've done a nice job killing the penalty. Now it's time to turn the tide if you're going to do it in this game. LaFontaine to McGillney. The save is made by Moe. McGillney was breaking in right on Andy Moe.
Moe did not move an inch. He stood his ground, made McGillney make the first move. McGillney shot it right into him. A real nice piece of goaltending.
McGillney again, he scores!
And that's not a nice piece of goaltending. He doesn't come out and challenge. McGillney beats him between the legs.
The elation for Buffalo. Dejection for Boston. A 1-goal game with nearly half of regulation time remaining in the third.
Andy Moe, one-on-one against Alexander McGillney. Stops him once. Shortly thereafter, McGillney gets another chance. But he doesn't stop him that time. That's not a good goal, Andy Moe. And Andy made a great save just before that, Tom. And it seemed to me as the game was wearing on, he was gaining more and more confidence, playing better in the net. But now, the Bruins have only a 1-goal lead, and this game rests, very large extent, on the shoulders of Andy Moe.
Now, wait a minute. We're not in Detroit, are we? What is this? The Octopus.
That's dinner. We're taking a charter out of here tonight. We're going to St. Louis for the St. Louis Hawk game tomorrow. Or maybe that's our hors d'oeuvre on the plane.
Time of the goal, 10 minutes, 43 seconds. And this crowd is back into it now. By the way, Jim, that's your dinner. That's not mine. 5-4, and hold on to your hats. LaFontaine is back out there for Buffalo. He absorbs a hard check. Peter Doris racing for it for Boston. Hines and Keith Carney are back there. All of a sudden, the Bruins putting on pressure, and we're going to have penalties. Coincidental minors whistled by Denny Morrell. We'll sort them out for you when we return to Buffalo, where it is a one-goal game. 8:58 remaining in regulation time.
Now.
Andy Moog makes a terrific save on Alexander McGillney. Right here as McGillney comes in one-on-one. Moog stands his ground. But McGillney beats him with this shot. You've got to wonder, a 2-goal lead, how do you let the guy open twice within 5 seconds to get that chance on your goaltender unhindered? I just think that's bad play in the Boston zone, Tom.
Play back on, Jim, and it's coincidental minors. You got Hines of Boston and Carney of Buffalo. Coincidental minors, one for high sticking and one for roughing. So it's 4-on-4 for the next minute 38 unless we have more penalties. And Grant Ledger took a stick up around the face. He is ailing at center ice for Buffalo. Howard check behind the Boston net in front. Score! For Buffalo.
Dale Hawerchuk gets good body position right there on David Shaw. Himmelef left completely uncovered in front of the Boston net. Where has the Bruins defensive zone coverage gone? As I mentioned earlier in tonight's broadcast, Himmelef, in my estimation, has been one of the better, maybe the best saver in this series. And he scores another big goal for the Buffalo Sabres.
And a crowd in an uproar. Some unthoughtful people are throwing debris on the ice. So to take a couple of seconds, third goal of the playoffs for the Russian Yuri Himmelef.
Well, the Sabres can taste it now. They fought back, fought back, fought back. They've tied this game with 8.5 minutes left. They've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. The Bruins have to stop the bleeding and get something going in the way of an attack themselves. They're leaving Andy Moog at the Sabres' mercy.
Play back on. A shell-shocked Boston Bruin team. Remember, Bruins lose tonight, and it's to the golf course tomorrow. After some time for reflection. Game you got to win, home or away, 2-goal lead, Jim. You figure to win it in the playoffs.
Absolutely have to win a game like this when you're up like that. And the Bruins still could. We're not saying it's over yet.
Oh, no.
They've got their work cut out for them now, folks.
They say momentum lasts as long as the next goal. The next goal very important in this game. 7:45 in regulation time. Kenny Sutton for Buffalo just dumps it in. You're Buffalo right now. What kind of attack offensively do you plan?
Don't change a thing. Keep going at them the same way. You fought back. You've tied the game. Why lay back and let the Bruins come to you? Score more goals, and the Sabres are very good at doing that.
This is Grant Ledger carrying into the Boston zone. Ledger's got a shot, and it's just wide of the stick-sided Moog. The rebound to Himmelef. Himmelef. Hawerchuk deflecting it wide. Hawerchuk intercepts. He shoots, and Moog comes up with a glove save. Oh, the Sabres are buzzing. We need a timeout. Jack Edwards, take it.
All right. right, Tom Mees. Also exciting stuff down on the island as Travis Green tips in the Claude Loisel pass to cut it to 3-2. And only a minute 20 later, Uwe Krupp throws the puck on goal. Pat Flatley is there for the rebound. It's 3-3. Are they going to OT again?
Why not? There's nothing to choose between those two. I tell you, I don't know why they just don't play the seventh game again. Take a look at the exploits of number 10, Dale Hawerchuk.
Boy, he's had a strong game. He does a great job there. That's just hustle, stripping the puck off of Wesley. Wesley's a good skater. He should have had Hawerchuk beat. That's just sheer determination. But how quickly he lifted the stick, turned around, got himself in position, and snapped a good shot on Andy Moog. Moog had to make a good save, or it would have been a 6-5 Sabre lead.
Canada notes the face-off, and the puck comes loose behind the Boston net for Ray Bourne. 7 minutes, and the teams are now at full strength as the coincidental minors are over. Hardy just stepping out of the penalty box, lays the lumber to David Shaw of Boston. You couldn't have seen him coming. Hannon goes for it for Buffalo. Neely wraps him up with one arm and leaves it for Don Sweeney. Some weird bounces off those boards tonight for both teams. Schmelik sends it back in onside for Buffalo. Cam Neely at center ice for Stephen Leach. Leach just stood up there nicely by Ledford right at the blue line. Bodker tries to clear, can't get it past Cam Neely. Oates is in the corner looking to center. Sweeney, Tim Sweeney, couldn't get the shot away. The puck is still loose. And a whistle for a face-off by Denny Morel. Back to Jack Edwards. Jack.
All right, Tom, 2-2 early in the third period in Montreal. A massive humanity goes with Gilbert Dion across in front of the goal, leaving Benoit Brunet alone. He puts it in only $1.07 into the third period. It's 3-2 now.
Great hockey all over North America tonight, Jim Schoenfeld. And it's getting physical here at the Odd.
Well, it's time for grit. You got to separate the guys that want to play from the guys that don't. And there's Sweeney. Remember that hit he had in Pat LaFontaine? They're going to take a little extra liberty. Leach and Ledger meeting at the blue line. That's just a good play of a guy trying to rush and Ledger standing him up. But you know the hits are going to be fierce, but no one wants to put themselves in a position of taking a bad penalty. So you would expect the sticks to stay down, for the knees to stay under control, and for all the body checks from now to the end of this period to be good, hard, clean hits.
Donato and Hawerchuk to face off in the Buffalo zone. Boston wins it. Stéphane Richer behind the Sabre net. Back for it is Kenny Sutton. And the Sabres clear to center all the way to the Boston zone. Will it be icing when Gord Roberts touches? Yes, it will. 5:43 to go. In a tie game, playoffs, a lot of icing last few minutes.
Shouldn't be. Bad move to ice the puck because the other team gets a chance to discuss the face-off again. They can change things differently. When you have a defensive zone face-off and lose it, it only takes one shot and the puck's in the net. If you're playing the game, the team has to make good plays all the way down the ice. So I would not ice the puck, or I would not want my players to ice the puck unless they were very desperate and had to get it out of trouble. Make a little sharper angle and bank it so it doesn't go all the way down the ice. Use the glass, feather it, get it out hard, but not ice it.
Donato and Hawerchuk will do it again. 5-5 from the Odd. Two quick goals of the Buffalo Sabres. Mogilny and Himmelev have tied it up. Oh, in the slot, and a save by Hasek. Wow. The shot right in the slot, I believe it was Dmitry Kartalov. And Dominic Hasek comes up with maybe his best save of the night.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Hawerchuk wins the draw clean. It's not that he lost it, but a quick turnover. You've got 5 Bruins in the offensive zone. Boom, turnover, pass, shot. And Hasek has to make a tremendous save to keep the score tied at 5s. There's the Bruin pursuit. They knock the defender off the puck, and here's the pass, a one-timer. And the Bruins continue to the net. A little scrum afterwards, but boy, you don't want to have face-offs in your own zone because this is what can happen. Good pursuit by Donato, knocks Sutton off the puck, and there's the shot. And if not for Dominic, it's a a 6-5 lead for the Bees.
Buffalo wins the faceoff this time. Schmeling with it behind his own net. Donato and Kartonov doing a nice job there, but it comes loose, and here come the Sabres. Randy Wood. Wood is 1-on-2, but he'll carry in, and he's allowed to carry in by Gord Roberts. Wood behind the Boston net, now banged off the puck. You hear that banging going on with about 5 minutes to go in regulation. Wood loses control. This is Peter Doris, got a little room. He tries to get around Bodger. Doris centering pass hits the side of that, and Hasek taking no chances, covers up. 4 minutes, 56 seconds left in the third period. We're tied at 5 in game 4.
Let's stop.
Where? There's nothing around for miles.
What about this place?
Once you've discovered a great taste of less filling beer, what more could you possibly need?
Hey, buddy, what's your secret?
I don't know. Location? Miller Lite, it's everything you want a beer to be.
C-Spot. C-Spot Run. C-Spot. C-Spot Stay. Introducing something better. The world's first foam protectant. It's a foam so it stays where it's sprayed. No running, no dripping. It deeply cleans, shines, and protects without the mess. So why use an ordinary protectant? Try something better, the protectant with staying power.
It doesn't get any better than this, does it? Stanley Cup hockey time. On in Buffalo, standing room only crowd. Boston Bruins, proud franchise facing elimination, having a 2-goal lead, Jim, and the upstart Buffalo Sabres showing their resiliency have come back to town.
Big face-off once again in the Sabres zone. Third one in a row. LaFontaine wins it cleanly. The Sabres should get themselves out of trouble.
Carrying out is LaFontaine. Avoids the check from Poland. Sends Mogilny in. Mogilny is centering pass for May. Is deflected in front, and Doris covers up for Boston in the Bruins slot. Peter Doris to Dave Poulin. Poulin just lofting an easy little shot along the ice. Hasek has to make the save. Poulin really had no other play there.
No, Ledger did a nice job there. He angled Poulin. Poulin didn't have enough speed to get past him. Poulin just threw it to the net. And Hasek made a smart move in freezing that puck.
And a reminder, regional coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs tomorrow on ABC Sports. Many of you in the eastern part of the country will see the Pittsburgh Penguins trying to eliminate the New Jersey Devils. In the Midwest, most of you will see the Chicago Blackhawks at the St. Louis Blues, where the Blues will go for the sweep against favorite Chicago. And on the West Coast at noon Pacific time, the LA Kings try and even up their series against the Calgary Flames. That's on ABC. Regional coverage tomorrow. Our coverage on ESPN continues Tuesday night from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. And our coverage of this game will continue long into the night if it takes that long. 4.5 minutes to go in regulation. Bob Sweeney knocks it to center for Buffalo. John Sweeney with it for Boston. Leach has it now. Adam Oates carries in. Leach can't control, and it's Bodger. Right at the blue line is onside as Oates sends it in. Schmeling around the boards, but not out. Wesley sends a shot high over the net. Oates gets there before Schmeling, but back the other way comes Bodger. 3:50 in regulation time.
A lot of play in the Sabres zone. One thing the Bruins have to guard against with this amount of pressure in the Sabres zone is the quick transitional game of the Sabres. Once they get possession, they pull guys out. They've scored a lot of goals on breakaways and 2-on-1s because of Bruin pressure. They failed to put the puck in the net.
Low darting shot there by Wesley a moment ago, and Hasek had to pay attention with the glove. Richer, the Gord Roberts, softly into the Sabre zone. Kartonov goes to the corner. Centering pass, no one home, and here comes Randy Wood. This is Donato. Donato 1-on-3 will just loft it into the corner. Kenny Sutton. Tell you, wanted to wrap it around the boards and out, didn't get it there, but now here come the Sabres. 3-on-3. But the Bruins, with a nice poke check by Roberts, break that rush up. Remember, Boston trails in the series 3-0. Sabres trying to eliminate them tonight. Should Boston hang on and win in either regulation time with 2.5 to go or in overtime, there would be a 5th game Monday night at the Boston Garden, but only if Boston wins. Bruins, the regular season champs of the Adams division. Buffalo finishing 4th and losing their last 7 coming into the playoffs. Mogilny, his shot is tipped wide and high over the glass into the crowd with 2:18 left in regulation. There's our score now on the bunch scoreboard from ESPN. Well, we saw Washington and the Islanders still tied at 3. There we go. They're still tied at 3, and they look like they're going to go to overtime again. Montreal, we saw that goal that gave the Canadiens a lead with 11 minutes to go in the 3rd period against Quebec. What a series that has been, the battle for Quebec.
And we've got it all for you. If you want good hockey action, you've got your TV station tuned into the right channel, boy, and it has been great. Overtime games, exciting hockey, and we're 2 minutes and 18 seconds away from overtime here. But you've got an offensive face-off for the player, and Pat LaFontaine out to take the draw. John Muckler hopes LaFontaine can win this draw, get it back to Sutton. Sutton over to somebody, and just anybody put it behind Andy Moog. We've mentioned it before. The Sabres do not want to make another trip to Boston this year.
Sabres have done an excellent job throughout the series winning faceoffs. And they control it again in the Boston zone. Ledger is taken down by Duras. Fans wanted a penalty, none forthcoming with 2:05 to go in regulation in a tie game. Steve Hines lofting one over the drive. And May has it at center ice. Tries to hit it, breaking LaFontaine. LaFontaine tries to get around the defense, around the net in front. And not able to get a shot away was Kenny Sutton. Big defenseman steaming toward the net there. LaFontaine hit him, but a little bit too deep. Pulled him back the other way. Ledger blocks it. Steve Hines behind the net. Oh, and Hasek has to leap out and cover up the loose puck with 1:37 left in the 3rd period.
Hasek does a real good job of staying strong against the short side post. Gives the Bruins nothing to shoot at. And once they make the shot, he makes the save and very alertly pounces on the rebound.
And surprise, surprise, it's official now, Jim. The Islanders and Caps are going to overtime on Long Island.
Long series for those guys. There's a look. Hasek just staying right there. He gets his glove down. You know, you mentioned about the Sabres' ability to win defensive zone faceoffs. That gives them the luxury, Tom, of icing the puck more frequently than most teams would. If you have great confidence that your center can win that draw and you can make a play or two and get out of trouble, you're not as hesitant to ice the puck. But it's again another defensive zone draw that they have to win.
Face-off, Hannon and Oates.
And they do.
Yep. One of the most misunderstood and underappreciated phases of the game of hockey, the face-off.
Absolutely. Most good teams work on it a lot after practice. You get your centerman there. One's dropping the puck for the other two. Take about 10-15 minutes a day. It's a real art to winning face-offs consistently.
And the puck goes into the Boston Bruin net and the face-off inside the Boston zone. Checking out the scoreboard. There you see it. End of regulation. Washington and the Islanders. Of course, if the Isles should win at home, they'll take a 3-1 lead back to the Caps center. But the Caps win. It'll be all even up. They'll have the home ice advantage back for what that's worth.
I think those guys must feel they're overpaid because they like to play the long games. They like those not only 1 overtime period, but 2 overtime periods. They're giving everybody their money's worth.
6 years ago, they played 4 overtimes, remember?
I do remember, yes.
Bill Clement in our studio remembers, I know. I'll never forget. Back to play here in minute 5 in regulation. We're facing overtime square in the face at the odd. Puck is just laying there. Dennis Burrell not blowing a whistle because he still has sight of it and it was not tied up.
The hero of that game is on the ice tonight, Pat LaFontaine, who scored the game winner for the Islanders, and Buffalo fans would love for him to do the same tonight.
Here's Hannon under a minute to go in regulation. He had Bob Sweeney cruising down the slot, couldn't get him the puck. 40 seconds to go now. There you see the clock superimposed in the right-hand corner. Ray Bourque, 30 seconds and counting. 20 seconds away from overtime. I think Buffalo right now would take its chances with overtime. And for the Bruins, it would truly be a sudden death overtime because in their case, you lose and that's it. And we are going to sudden death overtime here in Game 4 at the Yard. And listen to these fans. Sudden death overtime is straight ahead. For Boston, their season is on the line. For the Sabres, a chance to sweep out the favorite Bruins. That's it from the Yard for now. Let's go to Jack Edwards. Jack?
Tom Mees, why do I have the feeling that the night is young? 5-5 at the Odd, and the Islanders and Capitals, who have a penchant for going to overtime. Well, it was a 2-goal lead for Washington going into the third period down at Nassau Coliseum. Let's take a look at how the final 20 minutes of that game went. The Islanders coming back with Claude Loisel centering it. Travis Green tips it past Rick Tabaracci, and it's 3-2. And Uwe Krupp from the point. His drive gets knocked down in front, but Pat Flatley is there for the rebound. He fires it home. It's 3-3. And for the third consecutive game, those teams are going to overtime. Of course, the Islanders lead the series 2-1. If you're wondering if a series has ever gone to overtime for 3 consecutive games, yeah, it has. 1991, the LA Kings against Edmonton did it. And that's where the Islanders and Caps are headed tonight. Montreal and Quebec are hooked up in a pretty good battle. We'll check on that in a minute. And remind you, the Bruins and Sabres are headed for sudden death overtime themselves. 5-5 at the end of regulation.
Cold filtered, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
But now I'm a man, way past 21.
Look at you! You're dull! You're rusty! You're gonna get tough. Rust Tough. Because Rust Tough has a unique fast-drying formula with rust inhibitors that form a tough, hard-nosed defense against rust. Look at you now. You're tough. Got rust? Get tough. Rust Tough.
The Volvo 850 GLT was voted the best new car in the $20,000 to $30,000 class. Who are we to disagree?
What are you doing?
Pouring on A1.
Before? Don't you do that after?
Yeah, but today I'm doing it before instead of after.
It looks different doing it before. Think it'll taste different after? Because before, you did it after.
Try it. Whoa, before you eat it all.
Oh, after you.
A1, it's how steak is done.
Both Visa and American Express Gold cards can get you to England for the golf vacation of your life.
Charlie, how did your yank do? Well, we're up on the 9th sea, and he wants to be up in 2. So he puts everything he's got into the shop, including his new graphite driver.
But should you have a stroke of bad luck, only Visa Gold can get you back on course, because Cape Cornwall's only pro shop doesn't take American Express.
Keep a grip on it.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
The stars will come out tonight. It can be cloudy. It can be raining. It can be snowing. But the stars will come out tonight. And they will shine.
Welcome back to National Hockey Night, where we're putting in some overtime tonight. The Bruins held a 5-2 lead against the Buffalo Sabres in the second period when Dave Poulin scored a shorthanded goal. But the Sabres scored 3 unanswered goals to tie it at 5, and they are headed for sudden death. If Buffalo scores the next one, the Bruins season is over. Well, the Quebec Nordiques are taking on the Montreal Canadiens up at the Forum. This was a 1-1 game after one period, and in the second, Jesse Belanger makes the hit, and Gary Lehman connects to make it 2-1 Montreal. Mike Huff comes around to Pyle, takes the shot. It's saved, but Joe Sakic leans in and snaps it in to make it 2-2. Third period, Gilbert Dion stick handles around the corner. Puck comes out the side to Benoit Brunet, who wheels and fires and scores. And there's 6 minutes to go at the Forum. Montreal leads Quebec 3-2. So there's a one-goal game in Montreal. There's a tie game in Buffalo. There's a tie game on the island. You got a feeling this night has a long way to go?
We thought we'd been everywhere, seen everything. We were wrong.
We're back to the bone. We're back to the bone.
These guys were weird, and we liked it. Later, they took us to the Tower of Bud. Brother, tomorrow we ride again.
Taking a break, are you?
No break.
Oh, you smell good.
Well, thank you.
You wearing something?
Just my deodorant.
Oh, that Suave Super Stick I got you.
Yeah.
You like the Suave, huh?
Yeah.
Good. It costs less than your other one.
Yeah, well, I think it works really well. Don't you think so? You're supposed to be paying attention to me right now.
How many women tell their husbands they smell good while they're cleaning out the garage?
Just one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Super Stick. When Suave works this well, why spend more?
Well, it's been said that the 2-goal lead is the hardest to protect, and here to help me dissect that, Bill Clement and Al Morganti. And we've seen 2-goal leads falling all over the place. The Bruins are up 5-3 going into the third. It's 5-5 now, headed to OT, Al.
Certainly all the momentum apparently, obviously looks to be on Buffalo's side. You look at their roster, everybody's doing their pools now. Who's going to score in OT? Well, if you have LaFontaine and McGillney on your team, you're favored to take it out of there. And the Bruins in such desperate straits, I got to think Buffalo comes in with all kinds of confidence into this overtime.
I'd like to know who said that the 2-goal lead is the hardest one to protect. At any rate, the Washington Caps have now 2 consecutive games lost 2-goal leads in the third period. Now, people would say, hey, that might have hurt the Caps coming into this game. Believe me, the first time that happened to them the other night is behind them. But when the situation presents itself again, like tonight, the Islanders were on the bench saying, hey, guys, we can come back from this. They're all saying that. This happened to us the other night. Washington Caps aren't saying, hey, we blew it the other night, but believe me, they remember. And I think those 2 factors contributed to this.
Well, the guy who said it was some ancient fella I met at the Forum under the seats. We're going to be going to the Montreal Forum to check out the Quebec Nordiques and the Montreal Canadiens in just a bit. Don't forget, National Hockey Night returns on Tuesday. Red Wings and Leafs, 7:30 Eastern Time for that.
Something this good shouldn't be kept all bottled up. For great taste that's less filling, Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be.
Up on the roof, when this whole world starts getting me down, and people are just too much for me to face. I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. On the roof, the only place I know.
New Club World. Let all your cares drift right into space.
So let's go up on the roof.
British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
A hot new peanut just rode into town with a spicy taste that's getting everybody all fired up.
Got some more? Maybe you ought to practice with mild.
Try new Planters Heat in mild and hot.
Are you an AT&T salesman?
Yes.
Is your company telling customers that MCI's 800 service isn't reliable?
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Yes.